What's going on, everybody? Doc, Average Gamer Guys, into some more Resident Evil action, and today bringing you a walkthrough guide on the first of a couple of boss fights that you're going to run across as you start exploring the village, specifically as you jump into the mansion, taking on the lady and her three daughters. So we're going to walk through each of those respective fights, throw out some tips and tricks, a couple of things, really just a walkthrough on how to help you defeat those, as well as show off a little bit of the rewards and what you can expect to get after that, and just give our general thoughts on those boss fights as well. So hopefully you find this guide and this video really helpful. If you do, we do appreciate all the support. Likes and comments are great. If you want to subscribe, we're doing a playthrough series. We're going to do a couple of other guides on the other bosses. Hopefully help you out in that regard, as well as a couple other things with this game. Really enjoying it. Hopefully you are. If you're just picking it up, it is an absolute blast. So in addition to that, a lot of this footage was taken during our Twitch stream. We stream Fridays and Saturdays, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Been playing a lot of Resident Evil Village and a couple of other games. So feel free to pop over there. We have a Twitter and a Discord as well. And we post a bunch of stuff in our Discord and have a growing community. So links for that in the description. With all that being said, and through our quick plug, let's jump in and let's talk through these 4 boss fights. Alright, so daughter boss fight number 1 is going to come just after you finish up moving through the cellar or the catacombs, can't recall the exact name. And this is the only one that's really going to be prompted first by a cutscene. So you're going to break these boards off, she's going to appear behind you really creepily, she's going to push you in, and you're going to learn the weakness of the daughters. This is going to be persistent throughout each of these fights, which is basically exposing them to cold air. So during that fight, as you can tell, you're going to crack that window open, and then she becomes vulnerable to your bullets and your firearms. Really, from that point, it becomes a pretty simple boss fight, with the exception of this room being very tiny. Really recommend, you're going to see here I used the handgun a couple of times. Really recommend, and I think the MVP in all of these fights, just from a pure damage output standpoint, is going to be the shotgun. So hopefully you've upgraded it maybe a little bit, got some in the damage category. And you're going to see we start, I think, with 15 rounds. We'll end with 7 left after a couple of handgun rounds that we're able to put into her as well. So other than that, and really this is going to be a pretty similar tactic throughout these daughter boss fights, is really going to be move as best you can, make sure that you're guarding to really limit that damage, and then again, just do the work with the shotgun. It is really effective. You're going to reward yourself with a nice crystal torso, which is a great item to sell to the Duke, and pick yourself up some money for some future upgrades. With that, we'll close this one out, and we will jump into daughter number 2.
One crazy ass bitch down.
Alright, so daughter number 2 is going to come up right as you move through the Hall of Pleasure, as you come up to the armory. Now again, the same rule applies for this one. You need to expose the daughter to cold air, which you're going to do by moving this shelf and blowing open the hole that you can see behind it in order to expose her, because there's no other windows or anything in this room. Now, learn from my mistake here, and this was my first time playing through. That table that you saw, which right now is just to my left, it's on the opposite wall as this hole is, has 3 pipe bombs on it. You're going to see me very unsuccessfully try to open this up with the handgun, my knife, and then I think eventually my shotgun, because I did not realize in the moment that those pipe bombs were over on that table. So my first and biggest recommendation for this daughter is, as soon as you get into the room, stick to the right-hand side, move to that table, and go pick those pipe bombs up. I do believe that you have time in order to go and get there before she really aggroes you and attacks, and then it's simple as pulling that shelf to the side, tossing a pipe bomb, which you'll see me do here in just a second to blow that hole open, and then the same standards for these fights comes true. Get that shotgun out, put it to work, and it's going to be an absolute beast for you. You have a lot more area to move around in this one, so I think after I finally get my bearings and learn the tactic for this fight, you're going to see I don't think I maybe take a little bit more damage, but the shotgun is absolutely brutal. And again, hopefully at this point you've upgraded a little bit in the damage category, or as much as you can, maybe giving yourself a little bit more ammo, and this thing just absolutely shreds. The other nice thing is it has a really good stagger effect for finishing her off. So you see, again, I did not take any further damage from this fight, which was really, really nice. You're going to get rewarded, I think, with another crystal torso, if I'm not mistaken, which again is a great, great item for you to be able to sell to the Duke and get some of those weapon upgrades. So there's that table right there. There are a couple of stacks of handgun ammo. Again, you saw me break a box as soon as I got in here, and you can use that if you are low on the shotgun ammo as well. The second part to this room, and I'll give you a quick hint, there is a little bit of a puzzle. There's a mounted animal skull, which you'll see me pick up here really quick. As you go, pull that off of the mount and you'll be able to inspect it. There's a small screw on the back. Once you pull that animal skull off, the door or the cage will actually open back up and you'll be able to use that animal skull in that mask room right there in the Hall of Pleasure in order to open yourself back up to the rest of the mansion. And with that, and as soon as we do that, we will jump into daughter number 3. All right, and then daughter number 3 is going to come in. I'm going to show you the pathing from the courtyard as you move through the opera hall, and you will move to step into the library. The library is where the fight takes place, and again, same rules for this daughter apply. You're going to need to be able to open up a window or a door or something in order to get her to be exposed to the cold weather. Now, this one is a little bit different. Again, they've tried to kind of mix these up a little bit. There's going to be a lever on one of the posts for this little dome entrance. You're going to see, again, I tried to shoot it because I thought that was the play. That was not the play, but behind the daughter right now is the lever that you need to pull. This is a timed lever, so this is the important thing to note in this boss fight, is that you're going to have to get your damage in, and you're going to see the lever kind of slowly pull back as it will start to close. I had to do this a couple of times. The nice part for me is, for whatever reason, the daughter seems to want to stay behind the bookcases. Now, this works out for her because she's going to be relatively immune to the damage, but as soon as that lever comes back up, you can pull it right back down. So, recommendation, kind of the strategy for this, pull it down, get a couple of shotgun shots. You're going to see on the bookcases, both on the front and the back, there are going to be some ammo spawns. I think there's some shotgun, there's a couple of handgun. Just be mindful. You saw that it's, I don't know, maybe 15 or so seconds, 20 seconds, where you're going to have the ability to pull the lever down. I only had to do it a couple of times, and again, at this point, you should have your shotgun upgraded pretty well. We put the shotgun to work, handful of rounds there, and this fight is over. That will finish up the 3 daughters, and with this final part, we will move on to, get your crystal torso, we will move on to the lady herself and the final boss fight for this area. All right, so we move into the final boss fight of the mansion, which is the lady. Now, you probably saw a couple of things leading up to this, that you were going to find this poison dagger. You're going to put this poisoned dagger to pretty good use here in just a second as we get through this cutscene. So, what I want to talk about is how to really prep for this, because this is a pretty extensive boss fight. This is definitely the longest and most damage you're going to have to deal up until this point. And I think it's important to have a couple of things prepped. As you're leaving the mansion, the lady is obviously following you. She's chasing you around. Make sure you spend the time, go to the Duke, do whatever upgrades that you have available. Make sure that you're stocked up pretty well on ammo and a couple of meds. I will tell you, I didn't get or take much damage in this boss fight, which part of it was because I just moved around a lot. That's going to be the other thing. Make sure that you're hitting your shots, but more importantly, make sure you're using use of the environment, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a second to get this done. If you're not familiar with Resident Evil bosses, usually they have a weak spot. Sometimes they have multiple. The weak spot for the lady here is going to be herself on the back of really what this giant winged creature is going to be. I'm going to call it, there's a couple of stages through this boss fight. This is the first stage. The sniper rifle. Another tip here. The sniper rifle is your absolute best friend in this fight. 2 shots there right at the beginning takes you out of what I'm going to call stage 1. And allows you to get up on top. As with all of the boss fights, especially with the daughters that we've seen just before this, there are going to be some stacks of ammo, some supplies you're going to be able to pick up. Make sure to grab that. You get some sniper rifle, you get some handgun, I believe some shotgun as well. So it puts you in a pretty good spot to be able to take this down. This is what I'm going to call stage 2 here, which is she is going to move around basically from jumping on top of this square area in this tower and attacking these little miniature towers. Between that and you'll see her here after a little bit of damage, she will pop off, jump off, and she will fly to the sides. She's going to destroy this environment as she goes, but really this strategy holds pretty well true, where you got to try to get to a position basically where you can hit her. I think the sniper rifle, again, use your sniper rifle throughout the entirety of this fight. Use all of your ammo up and make sure that you're aiming for her on top. You can deal some damage to the, again, that winged creature, but it's going to be minimized comparative to actually making the shots with her. A couple of shots, she's going to continue to aggro. She is going to destroy what I call kind of your safe pillars, which are areas that you can run into for a little bit of cover. And you're going to see her here right now transition to kind of her flying mode, where she jumps off the side of the building. She will hold there for quite a few seconds, so if you need to line up a really, really good shot, or maybe you don't have a ton of sniper rifle ammo at this point, that's a good opportunity. Make the swap, make sure you get a really good solid connect on it to deal that really good damage. And if you have to, at some point during this, swap over to your shotgun. I really highly recommend using your shotgun or your handgun when she's actually mounted on the building. Now, she will come in, jump off as you saw here, and come straight for the attack. Just make sure you keep moving, make sure you stay pretty mobile, and kind of use your angles here as best you can. If she gets pretty well straight onto you, that's a good opportunity for you to move. And I did find it pretty easy, I will say, in order to get behind her to get some clean shots as well. Other than that, really just pay attention to your ammo count. Make sure when she jumps off, it's a great opportunity to reload, especially if you are using the shotgun. Use that time to maybe get some shotgun reloads in if you need to. But again, I had quite a bit of sniper rifle ammo up to this point, outside using it a couple of times throughout the area when it was really necessary. And I think they give you a decent amount, at least on standard, give you a decent amount of ammo to be able to make this fight, I won't say relatively easy, I'll just say make it pretty fair for the resources that you need. A couple of shots right there, she'll fall back down, she's going to fly back up. Rinse and repeat this quite a few times. Now, again, here you're going to see this is the second time that basically she put herself in a position where I was behind her, which is a really, really good spot to be able to get some really clean shots on that weakened area and actually hit her on top of that mount. Other than that, like I said, make sure that there's a lot for this that's just good prep beforehand, and I think that makes this portion of the fight pretty easy. Now, this last portion, I'll call this stage 3 here, is when she's really going to get up in your grill, and I think this is where, again, your sniper rifle, if you can use it, but your shotgun comes really, really in handy. This is basically right here towards the end of the fight. I pull the shotgun out. This thing is upgraded as far as it can at this point, and we put, I don't know, I think just about the whole mag in. You can move up top to kind of get away from the moths. There is some ammo and some supplies up here if you are really, really low on the ammo, but I think that's about where we need to be. And like I said, I thought out of all of the different boss fights, at least with the daughters throughout the mansion, this one was definitely the best from a supplies perspective. So she'll crash in here after taking some damage again. Pull that shotgun out, so maybe this is stage 4. I kind of consider this both the same thing, but put a couple of good shotgun rounds in. You can stagger her pretty well, as you can see right there, which is a great opportunity if you need to reload. And after quite a bit of shotgun damage, you put about, I don't know, a little over 10 rounds in her, I think, right there. She will crash through, and you get yourself a win and finish off this boss fight. So again, big tips up front: make sure to stay mobile, try to get behind her, shoot for that weak spot, use your shotgun and your sniper rifle as necessary, and shouldn't have too much difficulty with this boss fight as long as you stay moving. And hopefully all these tips were helpful for you.
God damn.
Woo!
You're the one who's cursed.
And here is where we will wrap it up. So hopefully Guys and gals, you enjoyed this. Hopefully it was really informative and hopefully had some really good tips to take down these first 4 bosses in Resident Evil Village. Again, we'll have more of this coming as we get through our playthrough. Again, if you're interested in watching a full playthrough series, we show loot locations. We just show the general progress of the game. We've got that up and going in some chapters on the channel. And again, be on the lookout for additional boss fight guides and other guides as we get through more into the game. But hopefully, again, this was helpful for you. If it was, we really do appreciate a like, a comment down below, and if you enjoyed the content, a subscription. And if you ever want to come catch us out on Twitch, links in the description for that as well. We'll sign off. Doc, Average Gamer Guys, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. Peace.